Hi. Oh, let me move this right here. How about that? Hello, hello. Oh, ooh, oh, what a slow day today. Oh, hi everyone. I I started a new training plan for running. I want to run a 10K in less than 52 minutes, which is quite a lot for me because I don't run a lot. A friend of mine prepared the plan. I've been training. I'm really tired. I went out last night. Ooh. I think I still haven't really woken up. Ah, okay. I think we're off to a slow start today. Drilling. Hello, good to see you again. All right. Oh, how are we going to do this? Ah, okay. I need to wake up somehow. Oh. This is what you folks sign up for? You sign up to the live stream to hear me moan and crank like an old man? Oh boy. How entertaining, huh? Excuse me. All right. All right. Let's start with the basics. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever this live stream might find you. My name is Jose Luis. This is Parametric Camp. We do computational design live streams. We sit down, we write nerdy stuff, and then sometimes, most of the times, we edit it and we turn it into tutorials and then we publish, etc., etc. If you want to know more, you can follow us on social media. We're particularly active on Instagram, and we have a Discord server where we have conversations throughout the week and where I get to know more and better about the community behind this channel. And we also have a Google Calendar that you can subscribe to. The links to both are on the description of this video in case you want to get notifications on your calendar about when do we go live. All right, so that's the boilerplate. Ooh, yeah, I really have not woken up yet. Okay, first of all, what are we going to do today? So we didn't stream last week. I had a doctor's appointment. Before that, what we did was I have this idea for a very simple Grasshopper plugin that I would like to do together with the community here, with any of you who want to contribute, people from the Discord server, anyone. So I have this idea for a Grasshopper plugin that should be quite easy. In fact, which is going to be this idea of making a plugin to access what I'm going to say, to access machine learning tools. So you're probably familiar with ChatGPT, GPT-4, DALI, etc., etc. Turns out those are neural networks. Those are machine learning models that live on the cloud. You can't download and install them in your computer. You can't use them because they're closed source. They're part of OpenAI, for example, and you can only access them through what's called an API. So something that I would like to do is I would just like to simply write a bunch of components that make accessing and working with that API as simple as possible, right? So I'm thinking of a bunch of components that ping the OpenAI API and then get predictions. I'm also thinking of IBM Watson. I'm thinking of basically something that could be used for as many different machine learning models as possible. So last time we met, last live stream, we kind of prototyped the thing. We sat together and we wrote like a bunch of bullet points of like what this component. We did like a little bit of literature review, if you will, like a background, some background research on what's out there here in the channel live. I think what I would like today is to start writing the foundations of what that plugin could look like. So I would like to kickstart the project, and hopefully I write a bunch of components today, and then maybe next week or in the future, like people can start jumping into the project as well. I think what I would like to do is I would like to probably have some kind of dedicated channel on Discord where we have like maybe we call it community projects or something like that, and where we can discuss and people can contribute to the projects that we do together. That would be super nice, actually. So that's one thing. The other thing that we can do is, well, I have announcements for today. Hey, Nicholas, long time. I don't know that we've met. It's a pleasure. So something that I would like today is I have some news. So let me show you. So YouTube did now. I will announce this. I will announce this at some point in the Discord server, but I'm going to be giving a talk tomorrow at the Digital Futures together with my colleagues at the GSD. So it's going to be focusing on the work that we do at the research group at the Material Processes and Systems. So it's going to be me, it's going to be doctoral students from the group. It's going to be Martin, which is the main project investigator. The principal. It's going to be fun, and we're going to be showing some of the work that we do at the research group, and I'm going to be showing some of my personal projects back from my doctoral times. So yeah. So everyone is welcome. You're welcome to check it out, but I will post a link to this at some point in my social media as well as on Discord. So you're welcome to check it out, and actually, yeah, I can do that later. So that's one thing. How is everyone else? How are we doing? Oh, is everyone else really asleep like me? I guess no one on the chat right now is from the East Coast, huh? Now, all of you folks, if I know who you are, I think you're like farther up in today's time zone. So it's been quite a day already for you. Anyway, let's start. I mean, let's start simple. We don't have to. Let's start simple. What are we doing? No, not this. So in the stream, we had this. Yes. Oh, what is this? The brain plugin. The notes are gone. I wonder what did I put this? I probably moved them to here. Exactly. All right. So we wrote this document. I've started learning Unreal, time to get back into C++. Oh boy, nerdy. I like it. I like it. How am I? I'm very sleepy, Nicholas. Very sleepy. I haven't woken up yet. I'm trying though. I'm trying. Okay. So we wrote kickoff, brainstorming components, planning a draft of the structure. We did the philosophical, on open source, background research, Ambrosius. Yes, so we did some background research. We looked at some projects, APIs that we could implement, OpenAI text completion, IBM, Watson, Hugging Face, Stable Diffusion, Generic access to any Hugging Face model, Runway, maybe, Hyper, I don't know, Azure, I don't know, Google. How does anyone know how to pronounce this? Azure? Is this Azure or Azure? I'm kind of curious now. Wait. Do we have desktop area? Okay, how do we?
Azure.
I can't hear it. Oh, but you heard it, right? Let me try again.
Azure.
Why am I not? Oh, because I'm wrong. Let me, speakers now. All right.
Azure.
Azure. Not Azure, Azure.
Azure.
Azure. Okay, well, Azure. I guess that's how it's called. Azure. Categorization by platform, by topic. Nah. Generics, get and post, data processing. We should probably start with the generics today. And we could probably do generics, and we could do a simple ChatGPT kind of thing, maybe. That could be an easy way to start. Should be a sync. Maybe we extend the template with a custom subclass that handles the request. Every request component should always have at least output the raw response. That sounds about right. If a response has array data, this should be properly converted to Grasshopper lists and trees. Okay. That sounds about right. A draft of the map. Okay. So we probably can start today I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to start the project. We're going to start a GitHub repo. I'm going to dump this document here so that it's part of the repository. I can probably start the solution. We can probably start the solution, and the solution is going to be, is this going to have an underlying DLL? Probably not. It's probably going to be just Grasshopper only. So that's another thing. And then what else? It's probably going to be Grasshopper only. And we could just do generic requests and OpenAI. We could do one speckle component. I think this is not a... Okay, and then here's the question. How do we turn this into videos? That, I think that I don't know how to... I don't know. Because if it's going to be a group project, there will be things. If it's going to be a community project, there will be features that I will not be implementing. There will not be videos around that. But also, I don't know. I'm happy to take suggestions here. How could we turn the development of this into an actual playlist, if you will? Oh. Sneeze. Oh. How can we turn this into an actual... So what would it be? Like the first video would be like an overview of the planning. The second video would be creating the GitHub repo. Yeah, how do we... All right, let's how do we break this down? Yeah. How do we break this down into videos for a playlist? I don't know. One general intro, do a temp one, and then replace with the final thing. And then second, overview of the goals. So read this document in a will. 3 is going to be starting the repo. starting the repo and the project. And the VS project, I guess that could be another one. I think I'm slowly awaking here. Do I have battery? Where's my battery? Okay, could you folks... Okay, I'm gonna switch microphones because I think the battery in this thing is not... Give me 1 second. Okay, how about now? Yes. All right, yes. Yeah, I think the battery in the other one was not working. Was about to die. Okay, so starting the repo and the Visual Studio project. Then what else? What else could we do? And then a simple GET request. Simple GET component with async. Simple post component async. And then a simple OpenAI completion component. This should also be a sync. And then perhaps here what we can do is we can say text completion component, and another one here we could be, can we create a superclass for components with requests? Maybe we do that some other component and then take the two previous components and abstract their common functionality. Maybe this could work. Yeah, I guess this could be, I guess. I guess we're gonna do this one, yes. Break design. Okay, so let's just get started, and then more components. Yes, whatever. We will see what happens here. Okay, so I think if we get to this today, actually I would be super happy if we get to this, or even this. This is a lot probably, but and this video should be short, hopefully. We need to, there shouldn't be like 20-minute like videos. They should be somehow short. Okay. All right, shall we do this? And maybe other videos, other videos that we could do. Here. Interesting. Other videos. For example, one could be accepting someone's PR. So if someone takes the code, changes the code, and submits a PR, I could show how to do that. That could be an interesting video. Another video could be, what could it be? Yeah, I don't know right now. It doesn't matter. Okay. All right. So general introduction. How are we going to do the general introduction? So the general introduction right now, it's going to be, I could come to some kind of screen like this, and I could just switch to something that is more like parametric camp, I don't know, Grasshopper plugin development, but we kind of have that already, no? Don't we have, all right, let's see. It's very clear the kind of things that I like, huh? Nono's channel, dance channel, Minecraft, and electronic music. It's very obvious, huh? All right. What was I doing? Yeah, my channel, playlists. So advanced development in Grasshopper. So I guess I wonder if we should just make like a screen like this, and then it's called welcome to plugin development in Grasshopper in, I don't know, something like that. I don't know. Sounds like a little too basic. What did I do for others? So for the others, I do have a screen that is specifically, it's either welcome introduction to parametric modeling or advanced development in Grasshopper. Yeah. Or nothing, or this. Oh. All right. Okay, so let's do one of these then. So I'm gonna go back here, and I'm just going to look for wherever I have those scenes. I think I have them here. Where is this stream? Yes. I'm a very old person, so I use Illustrator for this stuff. Ugh. And it hurts me, still hurts me. Okay, so I'm gonna create a new, oops, sorry, where am I? Document, setup, edit artboards. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, boards, edit artboards, I want a new one. Could I copy and paste? Yes. Right. So I'm going to, yes. And then I'm just going to now take all of this and I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to paste it. What? What is this? Is my face in there? I don't really know. What are the layers? Okay. So that should be. What am I doing here? Okay, there you go. So that, and I'm going to ignore. Oops, nope. How do I place centered? This is probably very painful for you. Replay, ignore. This is probably very painful for those of you who actually know how to use Illustrator, right? Plugin development in Grasshopper. Should we give this some other name, like a brain plugin development? I don't know. Well, I think it's gonna be fine like this for the time being. Anyway, this is just for temporary. So this is plugin development. Okay. No. This must be really painful for you folks. It's painful for me, so I can't even imagine. And now if I go here and I say, can I add an image here to can I add an image here? And that image is going to be, where is that image that I just created? It's somewhere here, and the parametric camp. Wait, what? Wait, it's not here? Where did I export this? I use artboards. Yes. What happened here? Oh, okay, yes. Here. All right, and then this should not, okay. All right, so, okay, so I think we can start the first video. All right. Okay, so what do I want to say? I want to say welcome. This is a temporary introduction to a new playlist that I'm recording right now, which is going to be how we are developing this plugin that is going to be useful for people to use AI tools, online AI tools. This is going to be a temporary video because if you're watching this video, we are still recording the playlist. So, and this playlist is meant for you to like learn perhaps how the real world development looks like, you know? I want to also mention that it's part of a community project. So it's going to be me, but it's also going to be done by the Parametricam community. So if you're watching this and we still haven't finished, you may want to contribute. That's something that I can also say. Okay, so let's see if that comes out not well. All right. All right. Hello, this is Jose Luis here at Parametric Camp, and welcome to a new playlist that I'm recording right now, which is going to focus on the roadmap and the development of a plugin that I would like to build with the community that is going to focus on helping people who work in Grasshopper to access online machine learning tools and neural networks, like for example, OpenAPI, OpenAI, okay, let's start over again. Blah, 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 starting over again. Open API. That was a good one. Excuse me. I don't know what's going on with my voice today. Let's start over again. Hello, this is Jose Luis here at Parametric Camp, and welcome to a new playlist that I'm actually recording as of right now, which is going to focus on giving you a glimpse of the journey throughout development of a Grasshopper plugin. I don't know what I was saying to this. I'm starting over again. Starting over again. Hello, this is Jose Luis here at Parametric Camp, and welcome to a new playlist that we're recording right now, which is going to focus on the development of a Grasshopper plugin that I would like to build together with the Parametric Camp community, which is going to hopefully help folks be able to access online machine learning tools and neural networks, such as, for example, text to image with OpenAI, text completion using ChatGPT, sentiment analysis using IBM Watson, and basically a plugin that is going to focus on accessing online API tools that are machine learning oriented. So what I would like to make this playlist about is basically give you a glimpse of how I think of a project, how do I structure it, how do I plan for like a large tool that I want to build for the community, and give you a sense of how the development process of such a project may look like. So it's going to be a little rough, it's going to be a little, it's almost like improv, if you will. But hopefully some of the videos will give you enough interesting information about certain aspects of Grasshopper plugin development on one end. Another thing that you might be able to take away from this playlist is the idea of how to organize like a large project into the steps and how to develop those steps. And maybe you actually get to learn also some of the technical aspects of Grasshopper development, C# development, API requests, API calls, network communication, and some of those things. If you're watching this video right now, which is temporary, it means that we still haven't finished recording the entire playlist. I will redo this video whenever the full thing is done. But also, it also means that because this is a community project and I want to build this not just by myself, but along all the beautiful and smart people who join me in the live streams and in our Discord, perhaps if you're watching this video, you still have the opportunity to join the development team and to perhaps contribute a component, some icons for the plugin, some descriptions, some sample files, etc., whatever you want. All right. So if you want to do that, make sure to join us on the Discord server, and there will be some kind of channel called Community Projects or something like that, where we will be having conversations as a team as part of the development of this plugin, which I think we are nicknaming right now the Brain plugin, but I'm not sure about that. All right. But any help will be welcome, and of course you will be properly credited when this project actually gets out of the door. All right. So without further ado, let's start slowly but incrementally building this plugin, and probably the next video will be some kind of planning or some kind of like writing up what do we want to do with this project and what are the main goals. Okay, beautiful. Thank you, and see you in the next videos. Bye. Risha, hi, how you doing? Arastu, very good to see you. Okay. All right, so that was a quick video on the introduction for the playlist. So this one, I'm actually going to do this. We're going to do this so that I can cross them out. Okay. And this one is done. Okay. So that's one thing. All right, so overview of the goals. What is that video going to look like? That video is going to look like me walking over what we did here. I'm not going to go over the whole thing because that will be super long, but I probably want to highlight what is important about these notes. So what is the philosophy? And I may want to point people to the document on the GitHub repo so that they can learn, more on their own. So that probably is one thing that I would like to do. OpenAI, Hugging Face, categorization, breakdown by platform, by topic. In any case, other design considerations. Okay. All right. So I'm going to talk through then on a video, I'm going to talk through the notes here. The document, what's up? I did some background, and probably I want to point to the live stream where we discuss this whole thing. Philosophy goals. We want open source. Okay, a sample file. Avoid dependencies running in the background. Open source. Access existing APIs. Shall not want to do that. It's not about teaching. Democratizing access to machine learning. This is not about. It's not about teaching. This is about what, but we're okay with paid service as long as it's not us paying for them. Okay, so that's so this was, we found this. And we did hyper, we went through all of this. We decided that we were going to other design consideration. Okay. All right. Okay, so let me walk over this then. All right. So what is this video going to be? This video is going to start saying, well, any project, before you start the project, it's a good thing to, before you start writing any code, to kind of think about what you want to do, what are the goals that you want to achieve, and lay down like a small plan or a manifesto or something like that, which is what we did here. So it's like, basically, this is like a general document with notes about what we want to make out of this. And I will probably want to highlight this. I would probably want to spend some time. Maybe we wanna do markdown preview here. Can I not scroll? Oh, that sucks. Okay. All right. All right, so let's do this. And and how am I going to call this playlist? The brain plugin. Maybe. Should we just stick to the name? Is brain a good name for a plugin? I guess brain camp. Oh boy. All right. Brain. Okay. So what is this video? I'm going to start saying that this new video, the first video in the playlist, the development of the brain plugin. Okay. All right. So let's just start. Yeah, right, Richa. What is a good name for? Can someone actually do that? Can you ask ChatGPT for recommendations of a name for a Grasshopper plugin that is going to use machine learning tools or access machine learning APIs or whatever? So that's a good one. Wait, can I do that right now? ChatGPT, playground. Do I have access to? Yeah, login, blah, 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 blah. Yes. So where is the playground? Chat. No. Chat GPT playground. Try Chat GPT. OpenAI, try Chat GPT. Oh, come on. This is not, no. There's a better one. This is not the one I've used. What is the link for the one Chat GPT that I thought I had access to, like the advanced version? I've used the other version. Chat GPT. Introducing Chat GPT. Read about Chat GPT Plus. What is Chat GPT Plus? Chat GPT. Okay, this is the one now. But not this one. The beta. Did I get access to the beta? OpenAI beta. OpenAI. No, all right. OpenAI. GPT-4, exactly. Chat completions API, chat guide. Oh, so I do have access to this, but I swear I've used. So give me 1 second. I think I have the link somewhere. Where is this? Playground. This is the one, exactly. Yeah, so why did I not get that? So DaVinci. Wait, what? No, I want chat and I want ChatGPT 4. This is the one that I wanted. Okay. CogniHopper, IntelliHopper, IntelliPlug. You are a web developer. You are writing a a plugin for Grasshopper, a visual programming language for the rhinoceros 3D modeling software. The plugin will help people access machine learning model APIs like OpenAI, Watson, IBM Watson, Azure, Bard, etc. What would be a good name for this plugin? And let's say, boom, mlink for Grasshopper. That was disappointing. Boring. Okay, try again. Another option could be machine learner Grasshopper. Huh? Give me a list of 10 possible options. ML Connect 3D, Rhino AI. This is very, okay, what was it? Okay, temperature. A lot of them. AI modeler, Grasshopper. Add message. Give me a list of 10 options. ML link for Grasshopper, machine learning Grasshopper, ML Connect 3D, ML Hopper, Smart Rhino. I mean, they're not terrible. They're just boring in a way. Okay. Chat GPT plugin names. Boring. Okay, I think we're sticking to brain. This is not very. Nah. Okay, we're sticking to brain, folks. All right. Lame. I don't like them. We are sticking to brain for the time being. There you go. Oh no, we want to brain here. There you go. There you go. All right. OmniLink mind meld chat GBT advised. I know. All right, let's do this. Possible. I'm just going to leave them over there. Yes. All right. So let's start with the video. AI boost, AI flow. Not bad. There's something about flow that I like. All right. Brain flow, mind flow, creativity boost, mind boost, mind boost. There's something about that I like. Anyway, we're overthinking this. let's get something done. All right. Okay, video recording. Hello, this is Jose Luis here at Parametric Camp, and welcome to another video in this playlist that I'm not sure what name is going to have, but it's probably going to be something like development of the brain plugin for Grasshopper. I am not sure. Anyway, what I would like to do with this initial video for the playlist is to do what I typically do when I want to tackle a new project, which is I don't start writing code right away. Because what I like to do is I like to spend some time, first of all, thinking about what do I want to do? What are the goals that I want to achieve? What are the high level goals that I would like to achieve with this project? And then I kind of like spending a little bit of time perhaps setting a roadmap or setting like what are the steps that I will follow to achieve those goals, right? Obviously, it always ends up happening that that roadmap gets like absolutely bent and twisted and you go sideways, etc., etc. But that's fine. At least having some kind of initial game plan is typically a good way to start a largish project, all right? So the first thing that I did was we sat down together with the community here at Parametric Camp, and we kind of brainstormed and we did a little bit of literature, a little bit of background research into what could this plugin look like, what are the goals that we want to achieve, and what work has been done in this field by other people, other tools that are available out there, etc., etc. So the first thing was coming up with a name, which was not a trivial thing. We kind of settled in with the name Brain, just because Grasshopper plugins are well known for having animal names. So we didn't quite find an animal, but maybe like an organ made sense. So we did that. We also just asked ChatGPT and about possible names, and in my opinion, it gave us pretty lame names. So I think we're gonna stick to Brain for the time being. Maybe by the end of this playlist we change. I don't know, but let's call it the Brain plugin nickname. All right. And what I did was in 2 live streams ago, I sat down and we spent like basically the entire live stream together with the community coming up with a set of goals, right? So if you're interested in how we actually came up with all of this, there is a link to the live stream where we recorded this in the description of this video, and perhaps a card will be popping up at some point here on the corner, right? So what we did in that live stream was we did some background research. So what has been done by other people, because we don't really want to reinvent the wheel, not interesting. We brainstorm what could be the components that we want to implement, the categories that we're going to group them in, and we kind of draft a structure of what that plugin could look like. I think this is what I wanted to go over today. This is what's most important for me. What is the philosophy, or what are the high-level goals that we would like to achieve with this plugin? For me, what this plugin is about is not about implementing machine learning things from scratch. So we're not going to be writing a plugin for linear regression, for convolutional neural networks, for like accessing, for doing TensorFlow in Grasshopper. I'm not interested in that. I'm much more interested in just like providing very simple and intuitive access to already available neural networks out there in the wild. And the ones that we are typically going to target with these plugins are those that can be accessed by some kind of API. So I'm looking specifically, for example, at OpenAI, which you can access. It's always on the cloud. You can't download it in your system, but you have to access using what's called HTTP requests. IBM Watson follows a very, very similar model. And so that's what I mean by accessing existing APIs. So the plugin is also going to be open source so that everyone can contribute, modify it, adapt it, etc., etc. We would like to make this about accessing APIs that live on the cloud. I would not want to implement components or implement systems that require some kind of complicated installation of some kind of dependencies on your system, like you have to have like some kind of Python server running, which is running a machine learning model, or you have to be using, I don't know, Kubernetes or some virtual machine or Docker, running Docker instances, because that would basically complicate things. So I want to keep it very simple. And maybe in the future we extend into that, but not for the time being right now. Then I would like this project to be heavily educational. So it is about making very easy for access, giving access to machine learning tools as easy as possible to newcomers. So I do strongly believe that sample files are actually a very useful tool to help people understand how things work. So every component or every new technique that we implement in the plugin should come with some kind of sample file that people can run. So this will be important. And it is about democratizing access to machine learning. So it's not about teaching the underlying principles of machine learning. That is a whole other bucket that we don't want to get into. And as much as we can, we would like to favor free APIs, but unfortunately, as of this recording, there aren't that many out there. Only a few examples in Hugging Face, perhaps. But we're okay with services where you have to pay for those requests. So for example, OpenAI has a credit system where you have to put your credit card and you pay like a few cents every time you request an image, etc. But what we're not going to do is that we are not going to be the ones developing those APIs and paying for those services. So we will hopefully come up with a system where people can input their own authorization tokens, and they can use their tokens to pay for these services. All right. So this is a little bit of the high-level goals. We may have to review this as we develop, which is totally fine, all right? Then we did some background research. We saw that there are some tools out there that have a similar philosophy, but we discussed how some of them were similar, some of them had a different angle, some of them were not open source, etc., etc. So we took a look at that, and then we basically took a look at what were the APIs that we could implement. And the main ones that we found so far, and which will be the low-hanging fruit, will be OpenAI, and those will be text completion, chat, image generation, text-to-speech, image generation. So we will probably tackle this very, very early in the development process. Then we will move on to IBM Watson, which also has a few interesting models that we can tap into. It has translations, it has natural language understanding, it has sentiment analysis, and it can also create speech from text. So you can give it a text and it can generate like a verbal representation of that. So that would be super interesting. Hugging Face was kind of a question mark here because it wasn't clear to me what the API looks like, but if we could tap into it, it would be great because they do have stable diffusion models that you can access from their API. So that would be one. And then Runway has been kind of steering away from this idea of packaging neural networks and giving them access to an API. Now it's more app-centric, so they have their own app, which is both client, desktop, and it's server, and it's web-based. But maybe there is something that we can tap there because their models are actually pretty cool, and I like them a lot. So we will take a look at those. And then Hyper, Azure, or Google, like BART, if they have any open APIs, we can probably implement those at some point, all right? We decided that the categories in Grasshopper are going to be broken down by vendor. So OpenAI neural networks, IBM neural networks. So those are going to be the buckets. But we also decided that we would like to implement some generics. And some generics would be something like a general HTTP GET request, a general post HTTP post request, in case people want to craft or they want to have very, very fine control of their request because they want to access a new model that we have not created a component for, or because they want to customize the request in a way that is not possible with the components. All right. So that would be actually probably the first thing that we will implement in this playlist. And we also need some kind of data processing. So we want to give people tools to basically parse images from base64, convert microphone audio into a WAV file or an MP3 or a buffer that can be sent for, I don't know. All right. But we will implement some kind of data processing tools. And other design considerations, this was interesting discussion as well. Every component, because HTTP requests can take time, it is frustrating to have Grasshopper frozen for a few seconds while the requests happen. So if we want to chain a lot of requests, this could actually get quite frustrating. So I believe we're going to be using the Speckle async template quite a lot. So the components get triggered and then we get some kind of notification about how many seconds the component is taking to resolve. And then once it resolves, then the rest of the update chain keeps working. So we're going to do that. Maybe if we find that many components have the same similarities, they have similarities in terms of their requests, etc. Maybe we create some kind of subclass that handles request and then the components inherit from that class. That could be an interesting thing to learn because it taps into model inheritance, etc., etc. And it's also at the ground of how async components in Speckle, that template, how it works. All right, so it's actually quite similar. We would like to always offer for every component the raw response. So we will take the response and we will parse the response to extract what's interesting of each request. But we will also offer always the raw response in case the user, some more advanced user, wants to work with that response and deserialize it themselves, etc., etc. And then if the response has array data, so we will properly convert that into Grasshopper lists of trees. All right. So that will be something that we will do manually. So I wrote here a roadmap of what could be the components that could be essential, and we were rating them 5, 4, etc., etc. So this is kind of like perhaps like a list of a list of what to do first, what to do second, etc., etc. And then also for the sake of this recording, I wrote myself like, what could be the videos that we could record for this playlist? And so right now we are doing overview of the goals. So I just crossed that out of the list, okay? And then the next thing that we will do in the next video would probably be to start the repo, put it on GitHub, clone the repo, create the new Visual Studio project, start from scratch, etc., etc. All right, which I think is probably what we want to do moving on. All right, so this file that I have here, the Brain plugin notes, it is right now in my machine, but what I will do is that as soon as we start the repo, I will post that file there. So if you're watching this in the future, just make sure to go to the repository. I don't have a link for that yet. I need to do it on the next video. And then this document will be somewhere at the root of the project probably, and you can take a look at what we did, what we thought, and then, or maybe how all of this has evolved since me recording this video right now and between that and you watching this video in the future. All right, beautiful. So these were the goals. Again, you can check the live stream if you want to see how we actually consolidated and came to deciding all of this. You can also check how we did the literature review and we browsed through previous project. That was kind of interesting. And yep, and I guess we are ready to start. So let's move on to the next video and start the project, create the repo, Visual Studio, etc., etc. All right. And in the meantime, as usual, if you liked or if this was useful, maybe you want to subscribe to the channel, like this video, say hi, join Discord, etc., etc. All of that. Thank you very much and see you in the next video. Let's get this project started. Bye. All right. That was a lot of chatting. Booster. Yeah, there's something about booster, mind booster that I like. Neural narval. Wow. That's a lot. Neural narval, like the unicorn of the sea. Use PhD for that. Llama learner, LLM, llama learn. Ah, not a bad one. Nicholas J. Hi, how you doing? All right, Chandra, what's up? Machine Mantis, ML, Machine Llama. These are the best so far from PH. What is PH? Fine. You're right. I learned about fine very recently. Yes. Yeah. You're right. I did like this one. I yes, and I actually tried it already. Okay. All right. So, what are we? It's 10 a.m. Okay. And plugin development in Grasshopper. No, sorry. Here. Okay. I need 2 minutes bio break, and then I'll come back, and then we will start the repo, and then we will start the Visual Studio project, and get the project started. All right. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. All right. Oh boy. Okay, sorry. I had my email open and I got really distracted. I have a lot of email. I activated creative from them. They have creative? They have a creative option? Oh, creative. More open-ended result, not reliant on web results. So this is like cranking up the temperature. Expert, more powerful model, expert tailored answers, slower. Concise, answer possible. The AI search engine for developers. Can I run Llama model using Llama CPP? Ay. Oh boy. I am really. Oh, it's definitely not my day today. Hey, Richard. Hola. Okay. Um. So starting the project. Okay, so we're gonna move this here, and where do I have? So, how are we going to do that? So we have here GitHub, and we have parametric camp. And here in parametric camp, we can probably start a brain plugin for Grasshopper. Then what we're going to do is I'm going to clone it into my machine. Yes, so we're going to clone it into my machine. And then, well, what? This thing has 103 forks? Are you kidding me? The tutorial files? Crazy. This is Victor. 103 forks, but I can only see 4 of them? That's kind of crazy. This branch is about commits 2 years ago, 3 months ago, commits behind. All right. Okay, well, that's kind of cool. Oh no, what is this? Oh boy. Okay. Okay, so we do that, we clone the project, then we clone the project, then we create a Visual Studio project for a Grasshopper plugin. And so we clone the project, we copy the file. And what are we going to do? We're going to create a changelog file. And then we create the Visual Studio project. The Visual Studio project is a Grasshopper plugin project. And do we leave Speckle for? We're going to do Speckle. We're going to do Speckle for. We're going to do Speckle probably when we do the request, when we implement the request. Yeah. So we will leave that for later. We can probably start the project, and then we can configure the Grasshopper project to basically create, and we can create like a Bologna, like a phony component, create it, run it run it, see that it works, and then we leave it ready for the next project to be. We leave it ready for the next project to be what? For the next video to be an HTTP post request. Okay. All right, cool. Okay, so how are we going to start the video? Hi, this is the video. I'm going to do this. Yes, okay. Okay, let's do this. Hello, this is Jose Luis here at Parametric Camp, and welcome to another video in this playlist where we are developing a brain plugin for Grasshopper to do machine learning and access neural network APIs. All right. So in this video, what I would like to do is to set up the project. All right. The way what we're going to do is I'm going to start a GitHub repository. I'm going to clone that repository on my machine. I'm going to add a couple of files that I have already moving around for like what is the roadmap and what is going to be the changelog, etc. And then I will start a Visual Studio project for a Grasshopper plugin. We will make sure that it works, and then we will have like a setup ready to now start developing our components. All right. So let's get busy. I want to make this super fast. So I am here on our Parametric Camp organization. Remember, this is a community project. It's not just me. It's all the beautiful Parametric Camp community. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new repository, and I'm going to call it Brain Plugin for Grasshopper. A plugin to access AI APIs from Grasshopper. All right, we're going to make this public. It's going to have a README file, and then the git ignore template is going to be Visual Studio, because what we don't want to do is we don't want to version all the DLLs and all the files that are temporary and then we're going to choose MIT license, for example. I don't know. I don't feel great doing that as a Harvard professor, but anyway, probably not a terrible thing anyway. All right, so we're going to create the repo. And the repo now is here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the side, and then I'm going to go here to where I have my Parametric Camp repos, right? And then here I'm going to open a terminal in this folder. And in this terminal, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clone this project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the SSH, because I do typically Git over SSH. You typically probably are doing it over HTTP, or if you have a client, you probably just want to copy this link. Anyway, I haven't done my GitHub. I want to do a Git playlist at some point. So if you're watching this in the far future, maybe there's already a Git playlist that you can check in the channel. But in the meantime, I'm going to just git clone this project. And now I have the brain plugin Grasshopper, and I have the README, and I can open this README in a text editor, etc., etc. All right. So fantastic. So what I'm going to do first is a project by the Parametric Camp community. All right, and I'm going to add like a camp emoji. I'm going to add a fire emoji, and I'm going to add a holding hands emoji. What is the gender neutral one? Oh boy, I don't know. Oh boy, there's a lot of them here. This one. All right. So that's going to be that. I'm going to save. And then if I do git difference, you can see, cd brain plugin. So I'm going to do git. What is the status right now? The README file has changed. git diff, so it gives me what is the change, right? And then I'm going to do git commit am testing the commits. All right, so I'm going to git push, and then that has been uploaded here right now. So if I now update this, you can see that, and I have the wrong username here. Okay, so let me change a couple of things. Let me change something before we move on. Yeah, so I have 2 accounts on my system. So I'm gonna ask you for a little bit of privacy here. I have 2 Git accounts on my system, and sometimes sometimes I thought I had configured it so that my default one was Garcia del Castillo, but it looks like it's not. So I wonder if I can change that. So I'm going to ask you to give me 2 minutes of privacy. I would like to change that. And where am I going to change that? Here in the configuration file. How do I check? How to check user name on Git repo. Okay, so I'm going to git config get username. User email. All right, so I guess I need to change that because it's wrong. Why is that so? Why is that happening? I guess because I installed the GitHub desktop client recently. Config user dot name is going to be Garcia del Castillo, and then use.email is personal at Garcia del Castillo.es. All right. All right. Sorry for that. I think we should be good now. So let's see. So git commit testing username. Git push, and then not this one, but all right. So, and now I get the right name. Okay. Okay, so we're good there. So what do we do now? Oh, sorry, you're not here. Where are you? All right. Richard, of course we're interested in that. We do need that whenever you can. Yes, please. Can you share that on Discord? That would be great. Okay, so where are we now? You can do that, Chandra. Yes, we have videos for that in the playlist. Yes. All right. So what are we doing next? The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the files from. I'm going to copy the files from that file, that plugin notes. Okay. Great. The next thing that I have fixed my username when committing things here. So the next thing that I would like to do is I would like to copy the file with the planning and the ideas and the high-level goals that we discussed in the previous video. I would like to copy it and version it in the repository. So the way that's going to look like is that I have the file, I have it somewhere else. So now I'm copying it here. And what I would like to do is on the README, I would like to a list of goals and a roadmap of the goals of the project can be found at and then can be found on this document. And I'm going to use Markdown here. I'm going to say on this document, and then the document is going to be, what is it going to be? Brain plugin notes. Okay. And if I do a dot here, you can see that if I click here, now it goes to that exactly. So that is working well. So now if I commit this, I'm going to git commit, git status. So you can see that we have a new file and we have the README, the modified file. So git add, I'm going to add all the files. So git status, so now everything is stashed for upload. So now git commit am added roadmap document. Okay, and git push, and now everything should be here. And if I reload, you can see the roadmap of the goals can be found on this document. And the document is here, brain plugin, blah, 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 everything. So, okay, so it's kind of working. Beautiful. So what are we going to do next? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to start a Visual Studio project. Okay, I want to make sure that we can create a new project and we have the Grasshopper template here in Visual Studio. Yes, all right. Okay. All right. Yes, we're not going to be working on minimal surfaces right now. We have this project going on, but maybe we go back to that at some point for an algorithmic modeling challenge or something. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open Visual Studio 2022, and then I'm going to create a new project. And I have already downloaded the Grasshopper template for Visual Studio projects. If you don't know what this is, or if you don't remember, I have a video in our Advanced Development in Grasshopper playlist where you can see this. So there should be a link to the playlist popping up in the here in the corner at some point, right? So I'm going to open a Grasshopper assembly for Rhino 7. I'm going to place this in the folder where I have the rest of the code, which is going to be in the brain plugin here. So that's going to be there. I'm going to call this brain plugin, brain Grasshopper plugin. Okay. And the solution name is going to be the same, and it's going to be on the same directory. Probably, yes. Are we going? Yes, let's do that. And then add on display name, brain Grasshopper, component class name, brain plugin component, nickname, subcategory. Yes, we can, and then we can get some code, some sample code. So that's going to be fine. These options will limit the project only to Windows, blah, blah, blah. We're fine. And this is where I have my Rhino. So I think we should be good. And why can I not finish? Why and why? What is so maybe this cannot be found. Rhino 7, yes. Okay, so why can I not? Why can I not create? Wait, what? Oh, something here, brain. Wait, so let me remove this folder. And then I'm going to try to create this and brain grasshopper component and brain component and nickname, first component, blah, blah, blah. Use Windows form, WPF, Rhino, and I cannot finish. Okay, so please let me take a look at why I cannot create the folder, the project. Um, why can I not? Is it not? You think that's the problem, Wujek? No, doesn't seem to be the problem. I don't know what's going on. I think hyphens work. I've never had problems with hyphens. And, huh, I guess you were right. I guess you were right, yeah. Huh, interesting. Okay, well, that was great. Thank you. How do you pronounce it? Wishtek? Watchtek? All right, that was a lot. Okay. By the way, good to see you. It's been a while, right? What's Wishtek? It's been a while. I haven't seen you in like forever. What you been up to? Anyway, okay. Yeah, so this is the beauty of recording these videos live with in company of smart people. So someone in the chat actually helped me point out that the hyphens that I was using were giving us trouble. So I replaced those with underscores. And then when I created, so let me remove so when I created now the name with the underscores, everything works fine, even with sample code. So I'm going to create this, and now the project is being created in this folder, brain grasshopper plugin. So that is, you know what? I kind of don't like this as a name. I'm just going to switch this to source. So I'm going to start over again. I'm a little anal when it comes. So I'm going to delete the entire thing, and I'm going to start over again. Visual Studio 2022, new project, Grasshopper template. And then this is going to be called the project. No, wait. So brain grasshopper plugin, and then I'm going to place this in a folder called source, and this is going to be sample code, provide sample code, display name, component, etc., etc. And now there is a folder here called source, and then I get oh, that's lame. And now the project is called source. Oh boy. Okay, so maybe, sorry, let me do this again. I'm going to close this thing because I don't want the project to be called source. Oh boy. Sorry that you have to deal with this. So I'm going to start over again, create new project, Grasshopper, and then it's going to be called Brain Grasshopper Plugin. Okay, and then the solution name is going to be this, and I'm going to place the solution and project in the same directory, so that's great, yes. And then provide sample code, yes. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to change the name of the folder. So I'm going to close the Visual Studio project. I'm going to call this source, all right? And then here, Brain, Grasshopper plugin, etc., etc. So I double click on the solution. and then Visual Studio opens, and I have my Visual Studio project here. Woohoo! All right, great. So can I start the project? So let's see, if I start the project, this builds and Rhino starts, correct? But then something that I will need to do is I will need to configure Rhino to read in the Grasshopper developer settings to read the folder where the binaries are typically stored. So that's going to be my PC. What is my, so, okay, so let me look this up here. So I'm going to go to the project files. Oh boy, where do I have this code? Oh God, parametric cam. Yes, so I have my file, parametric cam, brain plugin, source, binaries. And here in binaries is typically where Visual Studio for development, where it dumps the DLLs that are typically used as the binaries for the plugin. So I'm going to close this and I'm going to open now Grasshopper. And I should see some kind of new plugin somewhere where, yeah, now good luck finding this, yeah, right? HCF, this, I have a lot of stuff here. J, 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 R, D, V. Oh, wait, no, I'm not seeing it because because the default component is this thing, which is just like a spiral. So it's here. So it is being loaded. So that is correct. I just don't have my own plugin yet, my own categories, etc., etc. So can we quickly do that? So instead of that, we're going to go to brain and we're going to dump this into testing as a category. All right. And I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to open Visual Studio. I'm going to now, don't have to configure those folders again because I already did. And then I should now get a brain B here, B, testing brain plugin, and I have a component that just creates the sample component. All right, beautiful. So it looks like my development environment is ready. So now I have a GitHub repository. Oh, let me commit this whole thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to git status, and you can see that I have an entire folder that is not tracked. So git add everything. And so I'm going to go git status, and you can see that I have all these new files that have been generated. All right. So I'm going to git commit initial VS project, and I'm going to git push, and now the project is here, right? So I have the source folder and I have all the components here, etc., etc. Beautiful. So I think we are now ready to start development. And probably the first thing that we would like to do is, according to what we did in the roadmap. What is the roadmap? According to the roadmap, what I probably will want to start doing is implementing some kind of what I probably want to start doing is like the more generic Git, the more generic HTTP post and anyway, we'll figure that out in the next video. Okay, so the next video is going to be the development of the first component in our plugin. All right, so stay tuned for that. Thank you very much for being here. Say hi in the comments, give it a like if you will, and I'll see you on the next video. Okay, thank you. Bye bye. All right. Oh boy. What is this? All right. Okay. Give me 1 second. I have an important text that I need to send. Just give me 1 second, please. Okay. Yes, I'm trying to organize a family gathering. a family call, and it's just too many people to organize. I'm very lucky to have a large family. All right, so what is it? 10:40. Oh, that's a lot. Okay, so I kind of want to go soon today, perhaps. So how about this? I don't want, maybe making the video might take a little too much, the actual video for the first post request. But maybe what we can do is we can prototype it right now, here live. And then the first thing that we do in the next live stream is that we actually record the video for the HTTP, the more generic HTTP post request. Okay, so yeah, let's try to prototype this like here real quick. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to create a folder. So I'm going to create a folder, and I'm going to call this utilities, for example. I don't know, utilities, whatever. Yes. And then here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new item, and this new item is going to be a Grasshopper component, and we're going to call this HTTP post request component. All right, and then so the category is going to be brain, the subcategory is going to be utilities, utils, whatever. HTTP post request, HTTP post, and then description creates a generic HTTP post request. Okay, so that's going to be HTTP post request. And then I do have somewhere, so let me actually open some Rhino here. I do actually have a C# prototype. Well, we've done in a previous video. We've done in a previous video a C# version of that. Where did we did that, folks? We did it somewhere. I think we did it for DALI, yeah. And we did an H, so I wonder if that is probably under tutorial files, algorithmic modeling, miscellaneous, DALI for Grasshopper, DALI API, yes. And here, so here we do have code for an HTTP request. Okay, copy this real quick here. Yeah. So I'm going to copy this here. So first of all, if URL is null, so for this we need to use systemnet, stream reader, system IO, bearer token, body, URL, encoding, system text. We're going to include all of these new dependencies, all right? And then what we probably want is to mimic this idea of URL. We probably want to incorporate as many generic parameters as possible. So that's going to be, what is that going to be? That's going to be the URL. So we need a URL, we need a, what do we need? The body of the request, we need the content type, we need content type, we need headers, And how are we going to do headers? Because we could have a better token, but that doesn't really... If better token length... Oh yeah, how are we going to do security here? Credentials. We would probably create like a generic authorization. We should have headers, custom headers. We should we should have an authorization of the kind better token. Okay, so we could have headers, custom headers, and the custom headers should be pairs of strings, which is kind of annoying. How are we going to do that? Well, maybe we don't get into that yet. Maybe not yet. Authorization. So authorization header, pre-authenticate, etc., etc. Otherwise, we do default credentials. And then we get the response. And then we get the response. So, all right. So let's say pmanager.add text parameter. That's going to be string name. This parameter is going to be... I'm just prototyping this right now. I just want to have an example of this. URL. So that's URL. And then the nickname is going to be you. And then URL for the request. And then the access is going to be item as well. Then the body is also going to be the body of the request. Body of the request. Item. Then the content type. Content type. And this is going to be type. Content type for the request. Such as, for example, we're going to escape this, such as, for example, application JSON. What other types? Types of content types for HTTP requests. Content type, text HTML, media type, list of MIME types. Oh boy. Application.json. Application.json. Oh boy. Template. Oh boy, that's a lot. That's a lot of MIME types. I had never seen this. Okay. Such as text application. Application docs text, MP4, text.html, text.html, etc. All right, item, and then authorization, custom headers. Custom headers would be nice here. How to handle key value pairs in Grasshopper. Takes in a tree. All right, I don't know. We'll leave that. Add authorization. Authorization, and then if this request requires authorization, input your auth string, as in e.g., for example, bearer, blah, 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 or something. Input your formatted auth. What is auth token as an authorized string? Okay, so that would be good. Item, this is one. Okay, beautiful. So then let's do the Grasshopper thing where, and the results are parameter p manager text response. So the response is request response. Oh, and probably we want some kind of timeout. P manager dot add parameter authorization, and then by default this is going to be none. By default this is going to be none. Content type is going to be application.json. Authorize no token. No token. Add text parameter is going to be and probably I want an integer. Add integer parameter timeout. Timeout for the request in milliseconds. If the request takes longer than this, it will fail. And then we're going to say 10 seconds. Grasshopper parameter eat item, and then 10 seconds. All right. So, and then we get the response. Okay. Beautiful. So how are we going to do this? I'm going to say string URL nothing, and then body, and then content type is nothing, and then string auth token, it's nothing, and then integer timeout is going to be 0. All right, and so I'm going to now capture this out. If da dot get data for 0 reference URL, return. If we didn't get this, just return. And now I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is going to be body, this is going to be content type, this is going to be authorization token, this is going to be timeout, etc. All right. So now perform the request. Okay, and then we're going to do this. This is the data, the request, the method. This is going to be content type. The body is going to be length of the body, and this should be foolproofed at some point as well. And then if authorization token is greater than 0, then we're going to do here the entire authorization token. Otherwise we don't. And then the response, and then we're going to say the string is going to be the response, and then da.set data on 0, and the response. Okay, let's see if it works. Let's see if it works. And we should probably do an example where we ping the actual API. So for brain utilities, HTTP post request, bong, already bad. The URI is empty. Okay, so that's why we need to foolproof this. Okay, so I'm going to continue. Yes, error. The URI is empty. Okay, so we can change that. So perform the request. So validity checks. If URL.length is 0, then component this document, no, display message, no, what was it? Add runtime message here. The level is error empty URL. Okay, and then we stop. Okay, all right. So because I'm using Visual Studio 2020, it has hot reload. So now I can just delete this, drop a new one, and then empty URL. Okay, so that's all right. And then response is null. Body of the request, one locally defined, one locally defined. One locally defined value, but it's just, okay, so I don't like that. So I'm going to stop this. So no default values, no default values for the body, application JSON, etc., etc. And then if URL equals null or URL is 0, okay. So now we have hot reload here. So I'm going to drop this. Input parameter, failed to collect data, failed to collect data. Yes. Body of the request, application, authorization, bearer, locally defined value. Do I have a locally defined value? Yes, I don't want this. If auth token is different than null and auth token is greater than 0, then we do this. Otherwise, we don't do this. Okay. All right. So then let's do URL. So we're going to look for, where was API? Yes. So API is going to be overview, API, so text completion, and where was the introduction, prop design, but what is the actual, the API, okay, here. So chat completions, create a completion, all right. So this is the URL, so that's going to be the URL, OpenAI text completions. So that's one. Okay, so the body of the request is going to be what? The body of the request is going to be this. So I probably want to copy this entire thing here. I'm just really, oh boy. Okay, so can I align left? Yes. And can I, Da Vinci, say this is a test, this is the body, parameter A. No, parameter A is not mandatory. If A failed to collect data, okay, so that means that this is optional. BA get data, okay? No, keep editing. So this should not be a problem. So I'm going to reset this. So URL body A collected data. So we need to flag this one as optional. How did we do that? How did we, can someone help me out here? How did we flag an input? How did we flag it as optional? I forget what that was. da.getData, string name, P manager optional or something like that. And thank you, Victor. And that was here under register input parameters, or this was probably, yes. P manager dot 1, 2, 3, and 4 optional equals true. Probably something like this, right? Okay, so let's give it a try now. The remote server return an error unauthorized. Okay, good. So this is great. So we need to not throw errors. The remote server return an error unauthorized. Okay, so we're going to try and catch this. Try okay. String response is nothing. So we're going to move everything here, and now response is going to be here, and then we need to catch an exception, and then we need to catch that exception here. Error. And then we throw the exception here. Like that. All right, so maybe this works now. Okay, so I'm going to drop this here, here, system, the server return an unauthorized, which probably means, yeah, we can probably handle this better in the future, give a nicer response. But okay, so what if we authorize ourselves? First of all, I need to figure out OpenAI key. Okay, so I'm going to copy this component for the time being right now, and I do have a key there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to concatenate, and we'll probably do some kind of get environment variable or something like this. Concatenate. I'm going to concatenate here bearer, and a white space. Bearer and a white space. I'm going to concatenate this with the key, and that's going to be, no, but I do want the white space. There you go. I do want that, and I'm going to authorize this, and this took, yep. And right now we're not using the timeout, but I am getting something out of here. Yes, so I'm getting this, and if I were to JSON this out, I get the object, the ID, the model, text completion, ID created, model, choices, and usage. All right, and for choices, I could actually deserialize this as well. And then for text, this is indeed a text. Okay, so we got it. And if I write this, tell me a fairy tale story. Introduce a video on parametric design. This video from Autodesk. Oh boy. Okay, maximum tokens 7, maximum tokens 256, for example. Explains the basic of parametric design and how it can be used to create complex. Is this an actual video? Are you kidding me? Copy data. Is this an actual video? Does this video exist? No, it totally made up. It's not available anymore. Oh, so maybe it existed? Maybe it actually existed at some point. So if I mess up with this, it isn't available anymore. I think it probably just totally made up the link. Yes. Crazy. Okay. All right, so this seems to be working. So what if I cut down? What if I cut down the timeout time? Yeah, and let me wave hi to me. Hi there. Okay, and if I do the timeout, I'm doing another request. And okay. And then how can I incorporate timeouts to the request? Request.timeout. Yeah. In equals timeout. All right, beautiful. So if it times out, what happens? So I'm going to basically where is this? Brain, utilities, HTTP. All right, so this one here, authorization. The content type is good. This is good. All right. The operation has timed out. Okay, beautiful. So it's working. Okay, so can I save this as a prototype? So where am I going to save this? I guess I'm going to go to Parametric Camp, tutorial files. No, Brain plugin, tests, test, uh, test, testing workbench, for example. But I'm going to save that as a Grasshopper XML. And where are we? Here. Yes. I'm going to save that, but I'm not going to commit any of this because I just don't want to. Oh, we may want to add like a Boolean to say yes or no, right? We may want to add a Boolean. Yeah. Because we don't want this to work all the time. So I'm going to add a Boolean here. Bmanager.add Boolean parameter. What is it going to be called? How can we call this parameter? Request, activate, active, active. Perform the request and then item, and then the default value is going to be false. Okay. All right. So get data. We're going to change the name here. We're going to use names. Get data. We're going to use body. Body. We're going to use content type. Because I just don't, when you change numbers, it's just a little painful. Timeout. Boolean active equals false if da.getData active, and then reference active, and then here if active, don't even bother with anything else. Data da.setData response, and just empty. Response, just empty, and then stop executing anything. Yeah. So that's one thing. And so this now should be for option. Yes, it does need. Can we change this to number? Get by name. Can we? Parameter count. This get hash code. No, I guess we cannot. Yes, so we need to change this. We can get a parameter by name from the P manager. Is that true? P manager dot, yes, we can only add parameters, but we cannot get a parameter. Wait, does this return the parameter? No. Well, we can do this. We can always do what is the optional? Int auth ID is whatever, and then here we do auth ID, and then that always will give us whatever position it is. timeout. Okay. So is this working? Okay, so let's try. So now we drop this here. I kind of don't like send. Yeah, I like send better. That's a good one. Yes. Active. We're going to call this send. Send. And get data sent. Okay. And then if not, then the response is just nothing. Beautiful. Let's see if this works. So right now, timeout, authorization, content type, the bearer, body of the request, the URL, and this is request response, one locally defined value, null, and then we just a button. No, this should be more like a toggle. A Boolean toggle, and this is false, and then we plug this in here, and then we turn this to true. Up. Operation has timeout. Okay, so hi there. And this should probably be 10,000. Operation has timed out, and this is maybe 5,000. All right. Okay. So we do have a prototype for the HTTP post request. Maybe this should be called just post. Yeah, maybe. I mean, this is clear enough. Okay. Good. So I feel good about this prototype. I kind of want to do the asynchronous version of this, actually. So this could be one. And how did we hide components? Okay, exposure with exposure, yes. So I kind of want to do the asynchronous version. Okay, so let's take a look at how that used to work. Because I don't remember. Where was this? Where was this? So I have a lot of stuff here, media types. We don't need this, API keys. We don't need this either. So it was Speckle, and we had a video on that. And we were doing the plugin. Okay. Or maybe we can just follow the instructions again. Speckle, async components, Grasshopper async components, companion blog post about the rationale behind this approach. But there were a few things that were obsolete in this blog post, right? Yeah. So how did this work? Let me go back to the Parametric Camp GitHub and advanced development, pcom plugin. And if we open the plugin was obsolete. Yes, so this was obsoleting. Plugin info, vector components, simulation, data async components. We had in Grasshopper async component. Okay. And all right. We have this progress report. So this was the shim, okay? And then asynchronous, we also had worker instances. All right, so what we can probably do is we can, all right, so we can util, so we can stop this. All right, so now that we can rename this util components. And now here we're going to add a new async from speckle. So, and then there, what we're going to do is we're going to copy the files from here. We're going to copy the worker instance and the async component. We're going to copy them here. So with that, we have them in the project now. So we have the worker instance, and this is Grasshopper async component. And, all right, and so now, and we're going to rename this to brain.utilities. And we're going to rename this to brain.grasshopper async. And we're going to rename this brain.grasshopper async. All right. So that's great. And then, did I shut down? No. And then how did we do this? I think we inherit from the async loop component. We create a worker. We add the parameters. The icon is whatever, the UID is whatever. Append additional menu items, cancel, request cancellation, for loop worker instance, blah. For loop worker is an instance of this thing. I see. Okay. So then what is this going to look like? I'm going to copy and paste, and this is going to be the same thing, but asynchronous. All right. So what that means is I'm just going to try real quick here. So this is going to inherit from async component instead. This is going to be called async. This is going to be called async. And this is going to be called asynchronous, and this is going to be called async. And asynchronous, generic, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what we need to do here is we need to create for the base worker, we need to do HTTP post worker. All right, so we input the parameters, that's all the same. We need a new UID generator. Okay, so can you just generate something? We're going to copy this here. All right, so that's another one. Then the icon, no, we don't care about that. The GUID, append additional menu items. So we need to append additional menu items. And we need to bring in forms using system Windows Forms. Yes. And then we got the cancellation. All right. And then solve instance doesn't exist anymore. What we do, we wrap the data in this worker instance. So that's going to be, and you see the HTTP worker instance, if we're going to be reusing it over and over again, guess. I don't know. We could abstract it and make it share for everyone. That could be a thing. So, okay, so let me cancel this out. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say private. I'm going to copy and paste the other one, this one. I'm going to copy the worker that we had in this, and this is going to be an HTTP post worker. Here I'm going to add all the inputs that I wanted. So all this stuff is going to go here. Okay, this is going to be the worker, base null components, int. So we probably just want to do, take all of these. Is this going to work? Can we do this? I think we just did. And I can get by name, so that's great. We can get the data. Okay. And then we have to do some work here. Checking for cancellation, yes, that will result. And this is report progress. Okay, so then here is where we would write the actual request. So that would mean basically all this stuff here. I'm going to just copy and paste all of this stuff here on it, and I need to add here string response. Okay, so here I would and then this is going to be response, and then here I would say just paste all of this here. All right, so if you're not active, then return. Then we're going to be done and we're going to return. So that's good. So we cannot add. Oh, we cannot get messages. Oh, that sucks because we don't have access to the component. Huh. We don't have access to the instance of the component. So that kind of sucks. So where is this coming from? The worker instance, the Grasshopper component parent, worker instance, duplicate, do work. So who's calling this actually? I wonder if we can override this to include, why not just to expire the component response to update the output? Yeah, because those expirations, they get tricky to update the output. Maybe we can try. Victor, if you want to try an implementation like that, it's just that whenever you do the trick of like update, it's just I find I've had like complicated issues with that. Do work and then the asynchronous component. Do work. And the solve instance, if this guy does have so what we can do, we can just modify this and do work and say and grasshopper parameter component, and we can just, and then this one, grasshopper component, and then we could just do component dot add runtime message error empty URL, and then done and return. And then the worker instance does have this, but then the asynchronous component is probably having some errors here. Yes, so it probably needs an instance to itself, no? Wait, what? How is this an error? There's no argument that corresponds to the recall format parameter component. Show potential fixes. Passes into a Grasshopper component. Is this not a Grasshopper component? I guess it's an async component. Nah, it's not working. Weird. Grasshopper component instance equals Grasshopper component this. And then can I just place here instance? There's no argument that corresponds to the required formal parameter component of work instance, blah, blah, blah. Oh, wait. Sorry. It's not here. It's here. It's here. Yeah. All right. Sorry. I was. And I think we don't even need that because this is already, yes. Okay. I wonder if that works. Yeah. Okay. It's not complaining. It's not complaining. So we got that, and then we got component. We got component, and then we don't need this. And then this should be HTTP post worker. Oh boy, does this build? Oh, it builds. I wonder if it works. Oh, we haven't handled the messaging. Okay. So the messaging is response equal, we don't need this. Report progress. I guess we can just cancellation, encoding, etc., etc. Okay, report progress. ID and then requesting. But because what? What is report progress? String and double. Call this to report progress. It needs a number. How do we? Is there any way? Is there any way to report a non? Okay, so where do we report this progress? Action done. Do work. Boy, okay. And then do work is basically here, and it's basically do work report progress, which is where defined here as a string. And then where is this used? Report progress ID and value. Progress ID equals progress reports equals value time and enable. It's from 0 to 100%. So we cannot use basically a custom message. Okay, we can probably extend that at some point. Not gonna focus on that right now. Report progress, this is the ID, and that's going to be 0. But we should probably wrap this into some kind of a weight structure. And then where we could mesh with a while loop. Yeah, I just don't like those kind of anyway, it doesn't matter. Not important now. We can probably tweak that later on. So then, sorry, not that. Okay, the workbench, we have this one. It's working. Okay, and now where is brain? Oh, okay, so it moved asynchronous. So we have start, URL, body. Oh, it's done? Oh, okay. Huh? Yeah, because we don't have control over those messages, right? Yeah. Authorization, the timeout. Okay, so if we turn this to true, it's done, and we get the response. But it was kind of a flash response. What if we say 256? It's gonna take a little more time. Okay. Tell me a fairy tale. And it's blocked because of this guy. And this got timed out. Okay. So I'm going to disable the solver. This is going to be false. This is going to be true. Let me enable it. So now I am. This is 0. It's calculating. And it's done. Well, that was good. The problem is that the 0, I hit the 0. So it would be nice to have some kind of control over the message. So maybe it is some kind of maybe we can rewrite some of the classes here so that we can create the report progress is a string, but this is a string. And value message progress report values last to string. We could do async component. We could probably just create a similar one to this one, but this one is called async component, and this could be numerical progress, for example. This could be numerical progress. Let's stop. Oh, I should have. Numerical progress. And what we could do is we could just copy and paste this one, and then text string progress. And then what we can do is we say, okay, this is string progress. This is report progress string. This is a string. Action done, blah, 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 cancellation, string name, nickname, async component, numerical strings. So we got message, okay, and this is going to be called message, do increments, etc., etc., and this is a string. And then here report values last, and then else total progress reports kvp. If worker is 0, if worker is 1, progress reports values last. Oh, I see. So here is basically averaging. Interesting. So, because it has multiple workers inside of the same. I see. So what we could do is we could just say string, okay, and then we can concatenate them. I think that there is something like we could just say string concat equals progress reports values concatenate. Yes. Concatenate. Concatenate 2 sequences. It's going to concatenate the first sequence. All right. I'm just going to do it the manual way. Concat equals blah, blah, blah. And then for integer I equals 0. Come on, give me some auto-completion. Progress report values dot count I plus plus, and then I is less than this. Len equals that stuff. Then here, and then concat progress reports values I. What is this? This is a I collection. And it does, I'm assuming, get a number. I guess we could do this. Var messages equals this, messages, and then messages, and then messages. At this position, len messages don't count. If I is less than length minus 1, then concat, we add like a white space here. And then message is going to be equal to the concatenation. That should work. And then report progress, we would need to modify this to accept a work instance. Worker instance, ah boy. Yes, I guess this could be renamed to worker instance numerical, and this could be typed probably. We could just do something like this, you know. Shall we do that? Numerical instance this, and this is T. Worker instance T. All right, maybe we could do that. Worker instance for this one. What is this one? Numerical progress. This is a double. This is a double. But I guess if we do that, we could also do it for the async component. So this is for numerical progress, and for string progress, we could just do, this could be string, and this could be a string, and then this can just be a string here. Did that work? Does this build? Nah. Worker instance of, what is this one? HTTP, this of string. And so this is going to be equal to do work. This should be a string. Report progress, requesting. So that should be there. Worker instance, string, duplicate. Oh, come on. Because this base worker is for what? Numerical progress. This should be, because this is component, async component string. Okay, I have a lot of stuff here now. Worker instance is good. Numerical progress is good. Component asynchronous, numerical, yes, string. String progress. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, did we just do this? I'm kind of curious now. All right. Open recovery, yes. False, false. Oh boy, are we ready for this? Requesting, yes! And boom, nice. All right, so we hacked it. Okay. All right. Oof, but that took about an hour. Okay. And are we gonna make a video about that? Oh boy. Um, what are we gonna do about that? Because I kind of like this better, the requesting, because because you just can't give a progress number because you just don't know. Because you just don't know how long is it gonna take. And anyway, just like I have typed this to be, just like we have typed the worker instance to be for a particular type, we could probably not need to have a string progress or a numerical progress. And that's not true. Because the way this is displayed, it's different. Or maybe we could have something that takes these displays that generates the message based on the type. Well, I'll think about that. I guess I'll have to sleep on it. Anyway, I think we prototyped this. It's working. It's kind of doing what I think it should do. So we probably want to leave it there, and then next time we meet, we make a couple videos. We make a couple videos about this. So we can make HTTP, then we can extend HTTP to, we can extend HTTP for asynchronous HTTP. So yes, so let's do that. So Brain plugin. Okay, so where are we here? The Brain plugin nodes. So for the videos, starting the repo and so that we've done that simple post component. We're going to do first, we're going to do post component. And then we're going to do first do a blocking version. Then what is it going to be? First do a blocking version, then upgrade to async version, and then modify speckle to accept string updates versus double updates. That could be extension of the above. Okay. Prototype it real quick. So that's what we did right now. Oh, what's going? No. Prototype it real quick. Okay. Where did everyone go? Where did you all go? All right. So now git status. Yes. So what are we going to do? I think I'm just going to version all of this, and then we can take it over next time we meet. So it's fine. Git add everything. and then git commit prototyped post with async prototype async post with custom string progress. And then we're going to push this to the repo. And if anyone wants to take a look at that this week, so Victor, if you're bored and you want to see if you can prototype asynchronous, just regular asynchronous with a wait, etc., that would be nice. I just kind of like the message kind of part of it. I like that the message displays some kind of feedback that this is working right now. So that part I actually like. Oops, sorry. Oh, did I not? I didn't save that. Git commit am updated video roadmap. Hit push, and then we are, yes. Okay. All right. I think that was quite something for today. That was fun, actually. Anyway, so, oh, by the way, we are going to need help in this project. So if you want to help develop some components for OpenAI, IBM Watson, etc., please feel free to reach out on our Discord server. That would be great. Also, we're going to need graphic designers. So we're going to need some kind of nice set of icons for these components. So that would be great. So if you are a vector illustrator, if you like design, Photoshop, whatever that is, all right, feel free to reach out, and it would be great to have some kind of contribution there in that front. Okay, beautiful. I'm going to go. I have stuff to do. It's still Friday. I have office hours. I have teaching to do, all that stuff. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. It was a pleasure. Very happy to do this in the company of people as usual. And I will see you next week. All right. Bye bye. Thank you.